Morning, folks. How are you? So, she followed her inspiration. This is what this is all about. So, when Jean Maw was 4 months into her new job as a self employed sales rep for a large national bank, management announced that if the sales team didn't turn things around soon and create some impressive numbers fast, all of them would be out of a job. Up until that time, they had followed their prescribed steps for making a sale. Make a certain number of cold calls each day. Set up a certain number of meetings each week. And use a list of responses to potential objections. This whole thing was scripted. These were sales strategies that had been tried and proven many times for other people, but it wasn't working for their team. And now the team was spending too much of its time discussing what was going wrong and whose fault it was. The blame game. Never choose that. As soon as you start the blame game, it's all over. And why things weren't working. After learning their jobs were on the line if they didn't produce results in a hurry, Jeanette threw out her pipeline and script sheet and decided to try something else different. She remembered hearing about in a journal about a writing technique in which if you wrote a page a day about what you wanted, good morning, Alana, as if you already had it, by that time you'd got to the end of the book, you would have what you want. Jeanette didn't have a lot of time, so she pulled out the smallest book she could find, a 2x3-inch notebook, about 25 pages long. And I'm laughing, but the reality is she did it. That's the key. It's action will create momentum, will create results. It took her all of 2 minutes to fill her first page. She wrote about the exciting prospects, how exciting prospects were to talk to her. This is people she was basically speaking to and phoning up to get business. How they loved her product and couldn't wait for her to implement it. She wrote about the instant excellent rapport she felt and how the product she'd offered really was the perfect solution for their company. After making her first entry, she checked in with herself about what she felt good to do next. The answer was lunch. She hadn't had a real lunch since her first week in the job. Her lunch hour since they had consistently literally run down the hall to the vending machine. Then she would run back to her desk and eat an unhealthy fare between calls to business owners. On this day, however, she followed her inner guidance and decided on a better lunch. It felt luxurious to actually leave the building, sit at an outside table, and enjoy her favourite Greek food on a spring day. After she enjoyed a delicious meal, she kicked up her feet on the table and threw over a pita bread to the sparrows nearby. When she was good and ready, she meandered back to the office, and it was in the elevator on the way back to her cubicle that a stranger introduced herself to her and asked who she was. Well, I'm Jeanette, and I sell small businesses 401ks for the bank. This is a taxation system in America. He couldn't believe his ears. He insisted she follow him to his office, which is where he showed her the desk littered with 401 sales literature from a variety of vendors. He said he hadn't been able to make heads or tail of the situation or any of the sales brochures, and had no idea her bank had sold 401ks to small businesses. She shared her sales material with him. He was elated. It was exactly what he wanted, and he asked, how soon could she put together something in place for his company? In a bit of a daze, she let him introduce her to the human resources director. He instructed the human resources, morning Louise, director to sign whatever Jeanette needed as soon as possible. He wanted his plan in place immediately. Within 2 hours of the first entry in the journal, she was already experiencing amazing success. Her colleagues and manager were equally astounded. This had never happened before. Jeanette attributed her happy results to giving up the supposed to actions of the management they had given them, and instead doing what actually felt good and what felt right for them. And this is the whole thing. If you continue to do the same things you've always done, You'll always get what you've always got. And if you want to change some things in your life, you really have to change some things in your life. And I'll see you tomorrow.